Good evening. This is an LALATE special report on the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, EIDL. This is part 2 in a 4-part series on LALATE about COVID-19 and the stimulus package. Part 1 in the series is about the stimulus check. Part 2 is the EIDL loan. 3 is the PPP loan. And finally, part 4 is the Main Street loan. If you are an individual, you need to pay attention to the stimulus check in part 1 of this series. And if you're a business owner, you need to pay attention to all 4 parts. Tonight, EIDL. EIDL stands for the COVID-19 Economic Injury Disaster Loan Application. Tonight we'll discuss who processes it, what is taking so long, how long does it take, how much should you expect to receive, who will send it, and who you can talk to if you're having concerns. First, EIDL. How do you apply for it, and who processes the application? Over the last few days, a lot of people have been contacting LALATE on social media, asking us a series of questions that shows the realm of confusion at hand. EIDL is processed by SBA, the Small Business Administration. It is not processed by your local lender or your local bank. Do not go to your local bank and ask them to do anything for you for EIDL. They have nothing to do with it whatsoever. The only way you apply for it is online on the SBA's website. Now, what does the website say, as opposed to what really happens? The EIDL website established by SBA is very, very short. It says that it could take you 2 hours and 10 minutes to process an application. But in truth, if you have your numbers ready, of which very few are asked, it can take you a matter of minutes. The application online asks you a series of questions. To be eligible, you must have a business with no more than 500 employees, or you must be an individual who operates under a sole proprietorship, or you must be in a cooperative of no more than 500 employees, an employee stock ownership program, a tribal small business, an agricultural cooperative, or a business with more than 500 that is still small under the SBA size standards, or a private nonprofit. When you go to the SBA's website and you select the initial requirement, and say, in this case, perhaps you're a business with no more than 500 employees, you're then asked to review and assert that all these apply, that you have not engaged in any illegal activities, that no applicant has more than 50% ownership of 50% or greater ownership of more than 60 days delinquent on child support, not an agricultural enterprise, not a live performance of prurient sex nature, does not derive income from gambling, not in the business of lobbying, and is not a government member of Congress. With that, you go to the next page, which is essentially much of all the information that's asked. Your business name, your trade name, your EIN, so in this case, this is your employment identification number if you're a business, organization type, which could be S-Class, C-Class, C-Corp, gross res, cost of goods sold, contact information, and submit. There's about 2 more pages to the application, and at the end they ask you, do you wish to submit up to $10,000? Be sure you click that button. Now, some of you may have applied before March 30th. At that time, apparently, there was another version of a website that did not have that button. That might cause an issue of concern for you. More about that in a moment. Let's turn to what happens next. At the end of your submission of this 4-page step on the internet, on the SBA website, you're given a confirmation number. Write that confirmation number down. What is that confirmation number? It does not mean that you're receiving payment. It does not mean that your application has been approved. It does not mean anything but that you've submitted an application. Many people on social media have shared, told, or instructed one another that that confirmation number means you have been approved and you're ready to get a check. Not true. What that means is you basically have submitted an application and you need to wait. That is your number. How long do you have to wait, and what happens next? The SBA office is who processes your application. Traditionally, the SBA is around for events of tornadoes and similar that strike communities, small towns, counties. They're never, rarely, seen anything of this magnitude, where the application process is on a national level. As a result, staffing is at a minimum. As a result, they have to hope that they can filter through all the documentations. Next, at the end of the application process of the website, there's a line that says within 3 days, something along the lines of within 3 days you receive payment. Many have taken that language verbatim and expected it to be true. It is not. People who submitted the application received a confirmation number have not received payments within 3 days. In fact, no one has really received a payment within 3 days. What that term or language means is quite different. SBA has since indicated that that term means that once your application is approved, payment will be sent to effectuate a direct deposit within 3 days. That's the difference. When submitting your application, you are applying, and you're getting a confirmation code. Your application has not yet been approved. When it's approved, then your payment to be sent to direct deposit can be sent within 3 days. And again, we'll get to the point in this discussion as to how do you know you're getting approved and when you should receive the check. Now, people have also discussed the language that appears on the last page of the application, which says it's a self-authenticating application and that nothing else has to be done. That is apparently also untrue. SBA is reviewing the documents that people are submitting, not the documents, the information they are submitting, and they are checking it before determining approval. What are they checking on? The things you would expect them to check on. Does the EIN that you submit match the EIN for your business? Did you correctly enter your business information? That's why it's important when you're typing in your business legal name, make sure you type it in exactly as it's recorded. Don't change the language. Don't add words to your business name. Don't leave off the LLC. Don't add an incorporation when it's not an incorporation. Make sure you enter the business legal name correctly. And if it's an LLC, you put in LLC. If it's however it was formally incorporated, that the federal government has record of it, that is what's going to be cross-checked. All right. So you've submitted your application, you've gotten a confirmation number. It may or may not be correct, your information, but you submitted it. What next? Do you go to your local bank and complain if you haven't gotten anything? No. EIDL is processed solely by SBA. It is not processed by anyone else but SBA. If you submitted your application before March 30th, there might be a confusion as to whether you need to submit again. Some people online have been told by representatives of SBA over the telephone that if they've applied before March 30th, when the form was slightly different, that they need to resubmit again. LALATE cannot confirm that. If you submitted after March 30th, do not be concerned. When will checks be sent and when will payments be sent? Emails to applicants will be sent as early as April 7th, and payments could be coming as early as April 9th. SBA representatives are telling customers, LALATE can exclusive report. SBA's EIDL process guarantees up to $10,000 in accounts within 3 days of request, but LA has found a myriad of comments by alleged applicants explaining what SBA has told them, that by telephone, it's not a 3-day process. Most of the comments have been generally consistent, suggesting that this is the current policy. EIDL payments and emails are coming, so people are expected to be patient. The revelation obtained by LALATE comes from comments by alleged applicants to a news article published days ago about where the absence of any reported receipt of EIDL payments. What are customers reporting? One reported that they filed an EIDL application for one of his companies. He followed it up then with a phone call and was told, your application looks good, money should be going out next week. If there's nothing in your account by next Thursday, call us back. He then says he called them back again and was told, you're in the fast track program, your money will be in your account by the end of the week, just keep on checking your bank account. Another person told him, called and got a similar information. They were told that their information has been approved and the payment is received. Another person says SBA is telling those that anyone applied to EIDL prior to March 30th to reapply, so that applications prior to that date did not ask whether or not they wanted to be considered for the $10,000 grant. Another person said, I had a chat with SBA by telephone, and they indicated that no loans had been paid as of April 8th. One added that SBA said the money would be issued within 3 days of application approval, and that the approval can take up to 3 weeks. Meantime, many people have been telling each other on social media and in news articles that they have been told that EIDL's payments may come for amount of $1,000 per employee. Quote, I applied for EIDL on April 2nd. I've heard nothing from the SBA. In the last 2 days, the language on the advance has changed significantly to $1,000 per employee, first put out by Massachusetts SBA. LA cannot confirm this nor verify that the benchmark for the EIDL payments is $1,000 per employee that you submit on your application. Namely, that is $3,000 if you say 3 employees. LA has not been able to verify that claim is true. Second, what is happening and when you should expect the payment. Reps have been from SBA have told some applicants with direct knowledge of and direct communication with LALATE that their applications have been approved. LALATE has spoken to applicants who, within the last 3 days of this report recorded for you on April 11th, that their applications have been approved. Those applicants have told LALATE that SBA told them that they should expect an email and a telephone and a check thereafter. Other reps from SBA have been told that they have not been approved, that they have been processed, that SBA has not gotten to the application, and that when the next step will be an email, but to be patient because the process could take some time. So what should you expect? This is what the general consensus of reports from people who have spoken to SBA have received. If you have applied and have heard nothing, the best thing, of course, is to pick up the telephone and call SBA. Call them in the morning. Don't call them in the middle of the day unless you want to be on hold for 3 hours. Call SBA, have your confirmation number ready, and give it to them. And they are always the best provider of information. However, don't be surprised if you speak to 2 different people from SBA on 2 different days and have 2 different lines or responses. That's always possible. However, call up SBA, give them your confirmation number, and they're very pleasant and they're very receptive, and they will tell you where along SBA is with your application. They will state to you whether you have been approved or have been received but not yet reviewed. If you have been approved, they will probably inform you that you're about to receive an email and or a telephone call and then a check thereafter. If they indicate to you that your application has not been reviewed yet for approval, then they're probably going to say to you to be patient, wait, and that the next step will be to receive an email and or a telephone call, and if approval comes thereafter, your check thereafter. What wait time should you expect, and how impatient or patient should you be? It's very hard for people to have patience in a situation like this. LA can feel the concern and the confusion that everyone has had. However, people are receiving EIDL payments. Please do not think that no one has received any payments. If you applied before March and asked for $10,000, you could receive your payment somewhere in the month of April. If you applied in early April, the chances are you might receive your payment in May. And if you applied in middle April, you could be seen even later. The process is backing up further and further. People are expected to be patient, and in times like this, it's sometimes very hard. The best advice is to not rely on confusion and chatter, and to pick up the phone, call SBA, and give them your confirmation number, and see where along in the process you are. Recently, someone on social media tweeted to LALATE that they had applied for EIDL for the same business 5, 6, 7 times, and said the form kept on changing. Don't do that. You only need to apply once. Confirmation number is your confirmation number. If you have access to a computer or can screen grab the confirmation number when you do it, when it's submitted, screen grab or print that page and save it. That is your confirmation number. It is not like shopping for Walmart. You're not going to receive an email that says you just made a purchase and your purchase is on the way and will be received in 2 weeks. That's not SBA. When you submit your application, you get a confirmation number. You're not going to get an email back saying, thank you, we got it. The next step is to wait. And how long are you to wait? LALATE will continue to stay on top of the story. We appreciate your tweets and responses and DMs. Keep them coming. This is the second in a 4-part series on the stimulus package. Part 1, the stimulus check. Part 2, the EIDL. Part 3, the PPP loan. And Part 4, Main Street America loan. Stay with LALATE for updates as the situation changes.